So we got 1 week to go, and today we started getting our official marketing and reveals for Vanguard and Warzone's second season. Today we're going to be breaking down what we learned, what was teased, and what we can tie to this in terms of Season 2 launch content coming up that we already know about. As we go along, drop your thoughts down below. Are you looking forward to anything in particular with Season 2 that you've heard of so far? Are you looking forward to anything adjusted, added, changed? Whatever the case, feel free to drop it down below. But if you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, drop a like on the video, and if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Vanguard, Warzone, and any and everything Season 2 related as we gear up towards that launch and what lies beyond. That said, let's jump into it. So to start today, we ended up getting our first official teaser for Season 2. The official Call of Duty Twitter account tweeted today, "The front lines are getting reinforced. Get ready for armored war machines coming to Vanguard and Warzone on February 14th with the attached image." Now, this being the new key art image or part of it for Season 2 that we'll see for Vanguard and Warzone's boot up sequences, but also gave us a little bit of a teaser of what's to come in terms of the coming content for Season 2. We see this at just a glance, 3 new operators here at this, a motorcycle, a handful of weaponry, and a few things on the outskirts, which for the image that we see attached with the tweet, we really can't make out much of what that may be. But if you were to see the full image, which we can now pull from the PlayStation database, as the Season 2 update has already been logged, which we'll touch on in just a second here, but the full image gives a better depiction of what's on the outskirts of the key art. It's tanks. And that's what some of the wording here seemingly is referring to with the armored war machines. Tanks look to be coming in some capacity to Vanguard and Warzone. Now, before we break into the speculative and matching up things we've already heard about, to confirm what we see in the new key art imagery, we see 3 new weapons, which, not being a huge gun buff, I can't quite make out what they are, and honestly, they're not really rendered in the best ways to be able to discern what they are. But one looks like maybe a sniper. I think I might be leaning towards an LMG here at this, while the main operator above looks to hold the KGM-40, which is a Swedish rifle. And I will say the operator to the right almost looks to be holding the Itra Burst. So kind of weird, but based off of previous leaks though, names unknown, it looks like we have that KGM-40, which we mentioned, a new LMG, and another weapon that is harder to make out that's being held by one of our operators in actual menu footage. The Shisho though has been rumored to be coming back here, something we saw within World War II, but not sure if that'll be the case with this season or not. The actual build of that weapon doesn't seem to really match up with what we see in this key art imagery. So it would be an interesting spin of things if this key art doesn't actually give us all 3 weapons that we'll see throughout the season, but for right now, just take that with a grain of salt. We also do see that motorcycle or that bike here, which looks to be a new vehicle coming as well. Then we have our 3 operators, 3 new ones here, those being Anna, Thomas, and Gustavo. Now, this is where we can kind of cross over into the things that have been rumored or teased beforehand that we can now mention and kind of bring up as being confirmed by this key art imagery. But it seems like Anna is our main character with this season, Austrian by descent. She actually was an operator that we had seen leaked since the launch of the game and was rumored to be one of the first operators we'd get with Season 1, but instead we ended up getting Isabella here at this, but Anna being that main character. Thomas, the one to the left, is a Spanish Canadian who is a tank operator by nature in World War II, and then Gustavo, our masked operator, was a wealthy Brazilian who gave up his life of luxury to give intelligence of the Reich's plan to his homeland and then join the fight. Now, that's really all we can take away from the key art imagery itself, a set of new operators, new weapons, new vehicles, but what else is there? Now, in the background of the image for the key art, there's a mountain backdrop, which many are, I would assume, rightfully drawing the conclusion to this in relation to a new map called Alps, which was leaked, which is a much larger offering by what we've seen. Now, from leaks, this may be one of our first ground war maps. We have our combat pacings that go all the way upwards of 24v24 in terms of larger map blitz in Vanguard right now, but the ground war mode from Modern Warfare 2019 is also something that leaked recently with player counts going even higher. Now, this map of Alps was found in an in-dev build where it showcased almost a bare minimum outline of it, where there's locations of Home Base 1 and 2, Rocket Site, Flak Tower, Castle, Supply Depot, and Radar Station. These being larger points of contention, likely with flags A to E to capture, just like we saw within Modern Warfare 2019. And this also then sets the stage for all these new vehicles coming into play with Vanguard as well as Warzone. We saw tanks on multiple ground war maps in Modern Warfare 2019, giving them now potentially a home in Vanguard on a larger battleground would make perfect sense. Now, what's also interesting is that this Alps map, if the ground war introduction does turn out to happen, it may not be the only map that we see, because listed from what is apparently coming to Season 2 from data miners are a handful of maps called Alps, Bastion, Tank, and Factory, in addition to the now long-time rumored USS Texas returning. So the potential of 5 maps when we normally get 3, maybe 4 per season. So it seems like we could have a similar situation to Modern Warfare 2019's launch of Ground War with the ship of that game. This season may introduce us to 3 6v6 and up maps that play into each of the different combat pacings, but also may introduce us to 2 Ground War maps if all things go according to plan, so that we have a bit more variance and aren't just playing the same map over and over and over again, which I think is possible. If you guys remember, Modern Warfare 2019 initially launched with Ground War only having access to Karst River Quarry and Tovorsk District, which was a downtown area of play. It wasn't until 2 weeks after the launch of the game when we saw the first introduction of additional maps in Kravnik Farmland, and then a few weeks later, into Season 1, we saw the start of gradual introductions in the Ground War offering. So it only launched with 2 maps, which is very possible to happen here again, all assuming, once again, the Ground War leak is actually correct. Though there's plenty of discussion of people wanting to see War from World War II back, and honestly, I'd be cool with that too. That was a fun mode and certainly made for some memorable moments. You know which one I'm talking about.
A bomb's been planted on our ammo supply!
But I'm kind of thinking this one is a little less likely. There's more evidence pointing towards Ground War's introduction, but either way, a fun new, larger scale area of play for Vanguard and what we could see on offer. But then, talking about Warzone a little bit here at this in terms of what this key art imagery gives us, tanks could potentially be coming in Warzone, and I'm very much so hoping that's only in an LTM like Heavy Metal Heroes back in Blackout, because no thank you. I do not want to deal with tank campers in Warzone. There's already so many places to rat within Caldera, and to just have people camping in tanks, no thanks. I will pass on that happily, so fingers crossed that doesn't make its way over into the main experience of Plunder and Battle Royale, but maybe an LTM would be something to try out there. Now, outside of the key art imagery, we did get a little bit of information. Once again, we saw that the main key art image, the full thing, was pulled from the PlayStation database. This Season 2 update has already been logged, and it seems like it's around 10 gigabytes in size, so much more substantial than the last couple of title updates that we had seen for Vanguard so far. The Warzone one, to my knowledge, has not been logged just yet, so we'll see how that one all plays out. And again, that could give us more insight into some of the substantial changes coming with Season 2, a new point of interest, a new bunker system and underground system to Caldera opening up, new ways to play, and all kinds of things like that. So definitely a lot to consider with those update sizing, but right now we only have half that picture. So that right now is what we learned here out of Season 2 and what is upcoming, our first official teases. It seems like we'll be having some blog posts coming over the course of the next week as well. We'll see when those all happen, whether they start to kick off as of tomorrow or if they're held off until Thursday and Friday, and really being a last-second marketing push here with it. We'll have to wait and see. That said, if you guys are also looking to finish out some things, one thing that I did want to mention here real briefly before we wrap up the video is that later this week, starting on the 11th, going until the end of the season, for all platforms, there is another double Battle Pass XP event. So if you guys need to finish up your Battle Pass here, you absolutely have the opportunity to grind it out for not having to buy any tiers, but being able to organically unlock it at a more rapid rate. So definitely check that out if you guys need to finish that up. But that said, that's where we're going to wrap the video up. Love to get your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section down below. Are you guys looking forward to anything that we learned out of Season 2 here today? Anything in particular that catches your eye? Whatever the case, drop it down below. But if you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, drop a like on the video. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button to stay with all things Vanguard, Warzone, and anything Season 2 related as we gear up towards all that. But that said, thanks so much for watching. Mine's been Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.